Hello and welcome along to a new video. And first of all, I would just like to say thank you very much to my new subscribers and also to the people who have commented on my last video, the video I did for Zombie Blue Underground released on 4K. I appreciate that immensely, and as somebody who has just freshly started out on YouTube, it's very encouraging to read things like that because you never know how you're going to be took, and I just want to thank you for all your positive comments. So sticking to the Blue Underground theme, I've just received through the post the Maniac 4K, the 1980 film Maniac by Bill Lustig. It's not the nicest of films. In fact, it could be taken as it was a video nasty. I don't think it's been legitimately released in Britain. I could be wrong. I know that the cover caused a lot of outrage to certain people. It is what it is. It is quite a nasty film. But if you're a fan of it, and if you're a fan of movies that pull no punches and they show gratuitous violence, and also both some great effects from, obviously Tom Savini's involved with this, so you know you're going to get good effects. If you're a fan of this type of movie, or you're a fan of extreme horror in respect, and it's not a bad film, it's not gratuitous for gratuitous' sake. It's obviously dealing with a form of a serial killer that it doesn't glorify it, and it obviously gets into his psyche as well, which is a good point. The lead character, brilliantly played by the late Joe Spinell, and his love interest, Caroline Munro. It's a strange relationship they have. One that it's in the special features that they had that relationship in real life as well. Caroline Munro speaks so very highly of Joe Spinell. So this movie here, the picture quality is a definite boost from the previous, not the 2018 release, which I haven't got. I've got this one here, the 30th, not the 35th one. Now this one here it does look pretty good. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it looks quite dark. The details aren't that great in it, and the print's good, but it does lack from something. But you always put that down to the fact of it being shot in 16mm. So fast forward quite a few years to this release, and they have went back to the original 16mm negatives, and they've struck off that negative this release. Now it'll never look as good as Zombie will, because that was shot in 35mm, and you've got a lot more information in there to pull from in sound and picture quality and DNR. But that being said, that this film, it does look the best it's ever looked. It might look the best it's ever looked. It also, there's a lot more detail in the darkness that you couldn't see before. Clothing, especially some of Joe Spinell's features. He's got a quite unmistakable feature, quite unmistakable face. You can see a lot of his sort of skin tone in there, and he's got a lot going on. You can also see in some parts, I've just had a flick through it and compared some of the different scenes with the other scenes. Obviously I did go straight to the amazing shotgun sequence, which is obviously done by Tom Savini, and it just looks unreal. And the detail in that scene is much deeper than the detail in the previous Blu-ray. Now, is it worth the upgrade? I would say yes. I did pay £37 for it, 50 pence, but I would say that you can go to Wow HT and you can get this film for a lot less. That's imported as well. I know somebody who has said that they imported this one and the Zombie 4K for a total price of about £56, which is really good. So you can save money on it. I did go for a more expensive one, but I think I just did that because I didn't realize where to get it from. I've never really done much of importing of the sort of boutique labels before from the distributors. This is Diabolic DVD again, and I didn't have any problem with them. They've been very good. The updates they've got through email and the packaging has always been amazing, so I don't mind paying that extra if you know you're going to get something in really good condition. Obviously the slip cover is embossed as well, and I'm glad I've got it on slip cover, because like I said, I do collect slip covers. I collect them, and also as well I was able to take the disc out the without breaking the seal, which in my OCD land is something of a benefit. Now this is region free. It does play on your 4K player. You don't have to get anything extra for it. You've got it's packed of extras on. You've got some extras on disc 1, mainly audio commentaries, and you get all the other ones are on disc 2, which is a Blu-ray. Again, you do not get a Blu-ray of the film. The film is just 4K only, but for me that's more than enough. I would never go back to watching it on Blu-ray again, because there's no comparison. Don't expect to get an Aquaman out of the box, but you will get the best version of this film, and I do think you will benefit from seeing it in this version, because you will be able to see the darkness is not the problem, but it's usually a bit over dark, the film, and it works that way. It's very good that way, but it might put some people off to think that they're going to get something that is going to resemble your modern day 4Ks. Some people might think this is just a glorified Blu-ray. It's not. It's definitely, you can tell elements of it does look, real 4K. The sound quality does sound better as well. It is a Dolby Atmos track, and I can say that you could feel a little bit as if you haven't got the full 4K experience, but when you consider the film, the way it was shot, the processes it was shot with, the low budget side of it, you will then understand that you will be getting a very good version of this film. Probably, like I say, the best one you're going to get probably ever. And another thing to Blue Underground in general, for them to take the plunge into 4K, and they've got another 2 films coming out very soon, Lucio Fulci's House by the Cemetery and New York Ripper, which I think they were shot on 35mm. They will look very good. House by the Cemetery is very dark, and I think the darkness will be really boosted in there. I think that'll make that film seem different in a way. Also, New York Ripper is very bright, so that'll benefit as well. The HDR in here is better. The colours are better. They're not popping, but I don't think they could ever pop, because of just maybe the filmmaker has decided to leave it a bit muted. So don't expect super bright ones, but things like reds and the colours that I've compared with the other Blu-ray are much better. So all in all, this is by far the release to get for this film. And don't forget, fully uncut, packed with extras. If you can get it for less than £40, I think you're going to be quite impressed by it. And for me, I would like to compare it a little bit to, very quickly, to the remake. Is it a remake? Yes, it probably is. It's got the same tagline on here: I told you not to go out tonight. A lot of people didn't like it. I didn't want to know about this film at first. I thought they can't remake this one, but they've taken another slant on it, and then, from what I can believe, only watched it once way back. It was shot in POV, and there is some quite extreme bits in this film, but it's okay. It's not bad. It's worth a watch. But I do prefer Joe Spinell's film and the way he did his take on it. But I wouldn't dismiss this completely. Maybe if you're a fan of this film, you might want to revisit the original. Okay, so that's about it for me. Like I say, I'll be back for another video quite soon. I've got a lot of things planned about future videos, and I just want to say a couple of shout outs to Movie Worm, who gave me a shout out in his channel. If you ever want to just be watching a friendly channel that deals with a lot of in-depth analysis on Blu-rays and collection videos and that. I suggest you head on down to his channel. Also, a quick shout out to HallGoss73, who I will be working with in the future. He's going to be coming on my channel, and he's going to be doing, when this whole COVID's finished, and it will finish, he will be doing a few things in the videos. We'll be doing things together where, for instance, if I was to tell you about this film, he could tell you 1,001 details about it. He's like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to anything along these lines. And to be honest, most of these films back in the day we used to talk about, and he used to put me onto some of these films like this that I might not have otherwise known about. And also he's a big fan of a lot of different genres. So that's all to come. And so on that note, I'll say farewell to you, and I will see you on the next video.